Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to our countdown heading to the bar exam. We're at about 56 or 57 days right now. And my message to students in our course this week was do your best. Don't get disheartened, though your task is long and hard. God is ever near to help you. He can make the weakest strong. I want to be clear here. I don't speak often of God in these messages, and I'm certainly not trying to proselytize or evangelize, but sometimes it hits me in the face as I watch events taking place in the world around us. And as I'm recording, this is a completely insane time in the world as I see it. It seems to me that sometimes the only refuge that's available is to think about a higher power and to understand that the world is a much bigger place and the events of the world are much bigger than the simple fact of you taking the bar exam. And you might be saying to yourself, well, it's simple for you, Jackson, but I'm the one that's actually taking the test. So it's a big deal to me. And I get that. It is my entire world and life and has been for all of my adult career. But what I've discovered in those years of working with bar students is that the process of studying requires collaboration. A bar review, a teacher, a mentor, friends, family, those are the people that you can trust. And all of those people can do a lot to help you when you're going through something like taking a high stakes exam. And certainly the bar exam qualifies. Now, if you haven't felt that need to collaborate yet, I think that it's likely that you will before you reach your exam date. The reason for that is that there are simply times when you won't be able to do the task alone, when the work to be done appears to be too great for you to accomplish. When those moments occur, I strongly suggest that you look to the God of your understanding to help you through that experience. For many people, going through something like a bar exam is going to be one of the most, if not the most stressful experience of their life. And certainly the way the tests look these days and the pass rates that we're looking at make what's already difficult seem even more imposing and challenging. There's an old saying that there are no atheists in foxholes. I suspect that there are relatively few atheists when they put down that first test booklet in the bar exam either. So, whatever the God of your understanding is, I think it's probably worthwhile to get in touch with that side of your life as you go through your studies. If you're not religiously or faithfully inclined, before you shut off this video, let me talk for a moment about what I think happens at this 55 to 58 day period, because this is for everyone, regardless of their faith, a good time to take a literal and a figurative deep breath. It's important to recognize, as I said, that the task you've got over the next 8 or 9 weeks is going to be hard. It's going to take time. It will have rough patches. There will be ups and downs. There will certainly be moments of frustration. And now is the time to resolve that you'll do the best you can through those moments. To simply take a breath and say, I know it's going to be tough, but I'll be okay. You shouldn't become disheartened. You shouldn't worry about how many bad essays you'll write or performance tests you'll have trouble with, or how many multiple choice questions you miss, although those are often the kinds of questions that I get from students at this point in their study. If you've started right now, you're probably in what we would describe as a weak phrase. And by that, I don't mean like every week, weekly, but I mean weekly like you don't have much strength. You're not going to be very good when you start out. And so evaluating your work on that basis today is not a good thing to be doing. Instead, what I want you to do is to improve daily. I want you to end with strength. And how you finish is what counts, obviously, not what you're doing today. All I'm really interested in for you today, and all you should be interested in for today, is whether or not you're improving. Are you getting better? Are you improving the work that you're doing? Many of you are just getting underway right now. And for you, it's certainly a time to get your studies into a higher gear. And if you're just starting out now, you're probably studying 4 or 5 hours a day, maybe even more. For those who've been studying for a while, well, you don't need to be up at 8 or 9 hours a day because you had the advantage of an earlier start. But this is also the time, if you've been studying, when you'll start to see improvement in your work. Not passing quality necessarily, we would hope so, but doesn't have to be, but just improvement generally. And that's what we're looking for. What we want to see right now is continuous improvement. At this stage, you don't want to focus on your weaknesses. That's the tendency. People will say to me things like, I'm only getting X number of questions correct on this subject. I don't remember a subject I studied a while ago. Should I go back and work on it? And in a sense, that's just fixating on your weaknesses. Instead, I would suggest that you keep moving so that you can get through all of the subjects and all of the material and then have time to go back and review. But as you study, focus on improving with every essay or performance test that you write, with every subject you study, with every concept you master, and then give yourself a break. It may take a while to get back into the swing of studying between some of these big peak moments. And obviously, for many people, depending on whether you're in the February or July exam, you could be looking at things like graduation or summer or winter holidays. And many of you may also be consumed by politics or binge watching whatever the latest television craze might be. You're now at a point where you need to begin to turn your attention and your focus to your studies on a daily, regular basis and looking to improve it on a regular basis every day as well. But here's the thing, you don't have to go from 0 to 100 overnight. That's very difficult to do. Instead, try to warm up a little bit, work out a bit, get some exercise, work in small study segments. I recommend 3 hours at a time if you can do it for your studies, and then just take each assignment as it comes. Some people make the task ahead so great, so large, so overwhelming that they simply can't get started. They create this monster. And of course, the way to whittle down that monster is like the old story of how you eat an elephant. It's simply one bite at a time. In our course, that's exactly what you do. But if you're studying on your own, you should still take it one bite at a time. Do something for your studies every day. Begin working now to do something towards your studies. And I think what you'll discover is that momentum will build. Productivity and effectiveness should be building as well. Clearly, the study period for the exam is on. If you're taking the upcoming exam, yeah, you should be studying. And if you're not studying right now, then you need to think seriously about deferring. But if you are studying and you're underway, if there's something that's not working, then you need to get in and you need to resolve it. You need to fix it at this point. Do not let it linger. And for those of you that have not yet decided on a course, this is certainly the time to make that choice. And this is really the last clear opportunity to begin your studies. So, regardless of where you are, whether you've been studying or whether you're just starting out, this is the time when you want to get in, start working, and make significant improvement on a regular basis with everything you're doing. You can still do this and keep the rest of your life moving along as well. But throughout all of this and with everything that I've said, I want to come back to the original point. It's important to remember not to become disheartened. And it's easy to get this way at this stage. Yes, the task ahead of you is long and hard, but the God of your understanding, however you describe it, that is ever near to you and can make the weakest strong. Now, personally, I take great comfort in these words. I hope you do as well. And I hope that when you feel those moments of panic or a little anxiety or a little terror, even about what's about to happen, you take that breath and you think to yourself, you know what? I just want to do a little better today than I did yesterday. Work incrementally, work in small steps. And if you do that, I think this will be a terrific, productive study week for you. And I look forward to great things happening for everyone as part of this process. And that's our message. I'll be back again next week as we continue our countdown to the next bar exam.